Is this thing on? I think, yeah.
Hey,
What's up?
there,
We're having camera
yeah,
problems.
plug in Zoramir, and then we can fix it.
Okay. I blame Arlo.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm used to it.
Okay,
Boom.
and you should be good, Grayson.
There we go. Hi. Welcome.
First
to
world problems.
Yeah, to another exciting edition of On the Edge of Darkness. Welcome to the dungeon. We're happy to have you here, and we'll say hello to our newest followers, Cannibal Cajun, which is just fantastic. Um, it's Balathol, Uncle Mike, and Ghost Wolf. So thanks for those. Thanks for those follows. Welcome, Dungeoneers, one and all. How are you guys today? Happy Valentine's Day.
So they say.
So they
I don't
say.
think
Every
he's
day's
talking to us.
Valentine's Day.
You don't think he's talking to us? Talking to who?
Oh, I don't think he's talking to us. I think he's talking to the streamers.
I'm talking
Talking
to
to
all of you.
everybody.
I'm talking to you.
Oh,
what are you?
Hi, DM. How are you?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great Valentine's Day for Arlo. He gets to reunite with some friends.
If
He
we
does.
if we could just get our players to pay attention, it would be.
And yeah, well, Reddit's a very powerful distraction.
I'm gonna
Turn it
have
off.
to have your phone taken away.
Wanda.
Yeah. So welcome everybody. It's been a good day. Sadly, the Bengals lost, but it was a fantastic game.
It was.
Congrats to Matt Stafford for showing the Lions fans that he is Super Bowl capable. So well done there.
They are just terrible.
So hopefully, after all this, people take the Bengals a little more seriously. If we get an O-line, we'll be dangerous. So, but good and entertaining for all. Outside of that, guess what's coming up? Quicker than ever. That's right. It's the Midland Mall Comic Con strikes back. So we hope to see everybody on March 5th and 6th at Midland Mall in Midland, Michigan. And we will be there running sessions. I'm hoping I'll get the times for next week's thing so that you can know when the sessions are and kind of plan out accordingly. So, guys, this is episode 97. 97. And that's just from when we started streaming. I mean, there's still the lost episodes that happened.
Lost tapes.
The lost tapes, yeah, because they weren't recorded. So yeah, stop by, enjoy some D&D. Hopefully we can get Blaylock to come by as well at some point. But me and Grayson will be there running mini sessions, extremely mini sessions. And then hang out with the Banter and Babble folks and enjoy all the other things, the costume contests and everything for Midland Mall. You'll get tired of these advertisements when they're gone. You'll miss them. So, all right. That's what I have. You guys got anything?
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day, yeah. The love will be in the air in 2 minutes.
Whoa.
When we get back to the story. I have had so much fun with this part of the campaign. Way to put off Castle Verminia as long as you did.
We had a couple characters that were sternly warning everybody else not to go to Castle Verminia.
You gotta go sometime.
Yep.
Gotta go sometime. Well, I mean, you don't have to go. You could retire to Ciderport. And...
You just wait for Karhazinen to nuke it from space.
Right, right. What was I? All right. Well, let's get started. That's not the one I'm looking for. That is. Where we left off. Happy Coitus Day. That's great. Last week, the Arlo and Zormir explored the Fighters Guild, and both signing up for the competition, went in and fought to the death with the competitors there. Both winning in victory with the help of the gods in Zoromir's case, but he did end victoriously. Hurt and injured, they left the Fighters Guild, while the rest of the party went to the Wolf's Head Tavern and met with Gilly about a job where she informed them a book was stolen from them that needed to be recovered from the temple. Accepting, barring some conditions, the party plans out how they are going to address this issue. Returning to Zormir and Arlo, a small child runs from an alley. They investigate a woman being under duress, and magic trap was set for them, and they were taken to an unknown location. And Arlo ran into some old acquaintance from his past. As Zormir was... The world went dark for Zormir. Arlo was knocked out. And that's where we're going to start tonight. Right in it with Arlo. So, Arlo, the world went dark for you. Moments or an eternity passed, and your eyes blink a bit, fuzzy in the room, and you hear in the distance a shuffling and the voice, "I don't see the pendant in here. We've gone through all of his belongings. He said it was in his possessions, but it is obviously not here." You hear the clatter of items across a table, and as your vision begins to clear, you see Zoromir's head is still down, sagging. You don't know if he's alive or dead. As the dim light in the room and the faint smells of fire burning in the distance illuminate the area, it's pretty dark where you're at. He's woken up. And you hear the footsteps of the two familiar faces return to you as you slowly raise your head and see them standing in front of you, your eyes swollen from a beating. "So, would you like to tell us what you've done with our brother's talisman?"
Should be in the backpack, wrapped in a blanket.
"There is no such item there. We see plenty of other curious items."
Well, I know when we were in the desert, our backpacks got messed up and everything dumped out. Try Zoromir's backpack. It might be in there.
We have looked through the halflings' things as well, outside of the smell and odd collection of rotting meat. We found nothing there. So you're either lying to us, or you've lost it, both a terrible thing for you.
So, what? Why? Okay, first of all, my head is like spinning. Why didn't you just ask me? Why did you have to go through this charade of capturing me and Zormir? Why couldn't you just come up to me and ask me?
We've been watching you for quite some time. And she
Well,
walks into the light. Give me a perception check.
25.
You notice as she walks closer into the light, on the side of her neck, you see something you've seen before. A small circle with a V shape within it, and a K coming off of one side. We know of your exploits. We felt
again,
the
well-
safest way was to wait for you to be separated. We were in Portstown when Broman was there. We saw you in Sidersport.
And yet you still don't have the audacity to just come and ask me?
You seemed dangerous.
Well, I am.
You've already threatened to kill us. That
What
doesn't
would you
seem
if I
like...
did what you to me?
It seems my brother's teachings didn't land too strongly with you.
Your brother was a great man.
That he was.
He said he left this place because you guys were in some kind of split and he left for the better of the family. Why?
He didn't see the value of joining the right side.
Well, with what's on the side of your neck, I can see why.
I see you don't see the value as well.
I do not. We are actually journeying back because he was getting up there in age. He didn't want to come. But I talked him into it, and he wanted to see about making amends with you two.
And that's when you found out why he left and you slew him.
I did not.
And then
I
you
did
took
not.
his pendant and you hocked it.
Nope, he's buried at the temple. You can ask the clergy people up there. He was not injured at all.
At what temple?
The temple at my head hurts so bad.
It will hurt worse if you don't tell us where his body is.
Breckenseaford is where he's at. Why don't you let Zormir go? He's no use to you. Just let him go.
And you see
Got what you want.
the balding character walk over and grasp Zormir by the hair and pull his head up and grab a hold of his jaw and squeezes it. I don't want it to be trouble. And he laughs and drops the head, and Zormir's head drops down. It seems like you care for your friends.
I've been with them for quite some time. We've become, shall you say, like family? Would you know what that's like?
Well, of course. Do you, really? Or are you waiting to end their life and take their things as well?
I do not need anything. It's obvious that I've had it. Why would I want to sell it, get rid of it?
For the money, of course.
I'm in no need of money. Perhaps maybe one of my other comrades have it in their pack. Like I said, all our packs were dumped out when we were in the desert. They may have it. I assure you, I did not sell it.
I see. I'll tell you. I'll make a deal with you. In act of mercy for knowing our brother. In 3 weeks' time, you'll produce the amulet, the pendant. If you do not have it, one of your friends will die. We will know
So why
who
is
you
this-
are.
Why is this pendant so important?
That is not.
I know it
your
had some writing
business.
on the back. It had writing on the back of it. What did it say?
That is none of your business. You are not one of ours. You are not a part of our family. But know this. You have put all your friends in grave danger.
I doubt it. But I will see what I can do to find it because it is not mine. It is rightfully yours and Miagawa's. So if I can find it, it is yours.
Such arrogance. And with that, another crack. Your head falls down, and darkness fills your eyes again. And we turn over to the rest of the party as they decide how to deal with their current situation.
Who's feeling stealthy? No.
So you said something about being able to turn one of us invisible.
Yes, that is possible. I can bestow upon you an item that will allow you to go invisible. It only has 10 charges, though.
I think 10 is
And
more than
how-
enough.
Yeah. How long? How long do you
What?
remain invisible?
1 hour at a time.
Well, there should be enough time to walk the temple and see if we can't find the location of this book.
Hmm. Do we need to go in the morning, or shall we attempt it tonight?
I can go tonight.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And Grayson, do you have anything on you that's not magical?
Yeah, I've got.
Like, what about your robes? Do you have robes?
I have just my traveler's clothing, yeah.
So just traveler's clothing? Okay, so give me something indiscreet so that I may instill this magical property into it.
Don't forget, we just got robes of the temple that we could use.
True. I'll hand him one of the priest robes.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start drawing runes on the back of the cloak, and then as each one of them is completed, it will start to fit. It will start to absorb into the cloak, and that will be the expenditure of the spell storing item for the day.
Okay.
Must I attune to this item?
There is no need. And so you now have an item that on an action will cast invisibility up to 10 times an hour at a time. All the same properties of invisibility are in place.
This would remove the heel from the boots.
This does remove the heel from the boots, yes.
Maybe I can get the book tonight without any problems.
That would be quite a feat. But it's perfectly possible.
I can be quite quiet. And with 10 hours, I should be able to traverse most of the temple. I know what the book looks like. And if the spell fails at any time, I'm wearing robes that shouldn't put me out of place.
Yes. Very true. It is also possible to have company.
I think the more
Voltaire
people we have
could be
walking
a bat.
around,
True.
I think
Just
at this
rude.
point, if I get caught, I get caught. There doesn't need to be more of us getting into trouble, especially since we have two that we don't know where they are right now anyway.
Yes. Our current party is getting smaller as the day goes on.
I suggest getting Melu set up at the den.
I can take her and go do that if you want to go right to the chapel.
And hopefully I will see you in the morning.
Hopefully we find Arlo and Z in the morning too.
If not, we can always take a look at the prison.
Where have they gone off to? Very interesting.
I'm going to take the robes.
Okay.
I put them on and head out towards the temple.
All right.
Be safe, Grayson.
So you walk downstairs in the robes, or are you waiting till you're out of the?
I'm just taking the robes with me. I'm going to
Okay.
wait to put it on.
Okay. So Grayson gets up, walks out of the room. Blaylock.
Melu is there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're at what's her name's den? Kadra's den.
No, we're still at the tavern. Wolf
Oh.
said.
You're at the Wolf's Head
Okay.
Tavern.
Gautier, why don't we get Melu set up at the den as a guest, not as a host?
I think that'd be a good idea.
Melu, Is this acceptable?
I I can I can go back to the old boot. I'm not. I don't need this hospitality.
It is no bother to us, and you haven't seen your brother in some time. A wise man once told me, don't refuse someone's ability to be gracious.
I guess I can use some time to talk to Tendra as well, to see what opportunities are there.
You don't have to worry about that. We already told you we have a potential place you could work at.
I don't want to inconvenience Gautier. It's been so long. I've been. I don't want to be a burden.
You're not going to be a burden. Don't worry about it. What's family for?
If anyone would tell you that you were a burden, it would likely be your brother.
That
So
is very true.
I would not worry too much about us not telling you if you are a burden or not.
She takes a drink of ale and tips it back and wipes her mouth with her sleeve. I guess that's right. Well, I guess. I'll owe you all one, though.
Don't worry about it.
We'll
Where's
put it
giving you a
on your
place to
tab.
The tab that never stops growing. See if we can get you a bath there too while we're out there.
And she just, as you say that, she kind of turns down sheepishly, embarrassed. Just thanks.
I wouldn't worry too much about that critique. They tell me that all the time, and I do bathe. They have very sensitive noses, they do.
This is coming from the person with the biggest nose of us all.
My nose is quite acceptable for Minotaur, thank you.
Up until recently, it was a bit longer, but
It was. It was. It was a little engorged, but now it is quite acceptable.
let's get heading out, you guys.
So you're getting up?
Yep.
Okay. Melu slowly gets up from the table and nods at Blaylock and pulls a hood up over her head and follows Galtier out. Galtier, as you descend the stairs with Melu, you see Callister there, watching as you descend the stairs. And pass into the night, and you're heading to Tendris?
Yep.
Blaylock, you are sitting in a room by yourself.
I thought I
never
was
got it?
accompanying them.
Okay.
You never said you got up and came.
Yeah, you never said you got up.
Oh, I get up
He's like, there's
and I
food
follow
here.
suit.
Okay. So you're following them to Tendris, then?
No, even better. Like everyone gets up and leaves, and I'm just sitting there, just looking around. And then I get up, just awkwardly, just walk out the door.
All right. So all three of you head to Tendra's den. Grayson, as night progresses and you walk through the dark streets of Verminia, you hear the familiar sounds of danger in the darkness that you're quite aware of. The firelight that illuminates the town, you can hear crackling, and you can smell some of the dinner meals that were prepared earlier is wafting through the streets. and the muffled sounds of those talking within their homes. You approach the marble temple uh, steps to the Temple of Tyr. Large pillars rise to the rooftops, and you can see the symbol of a sword displayed at the top, and large metal doorway that seems closed at the moment as you arrive. There's next to no activity on the streets.
And how many of the actual priests are like kind of just wandering around?
You've seen one pass outside of the doorway a few times, so there is some traffic as they leave to go places, and some that pass in.
All right, I want to go down one of the side streets, somewhere dark, and put the robe on.
Okay. You pass into one of the side alleys near the temple and kind of look around. Give me a perception check.
22.
Okay. You don't see anyone watching you. Those that saw you pass in there just turned and went about their own business as you put the robe on and do your best to hide any vestiges of your clothing underneath.
Kind of want to get a feel of what's going on around the temple before I reach or start heading towards the door. So I'm just going to kind of walk around, just keeping my eye on any of the priests that are still around. Just if there's any conversation.
Walking in the general area.
Yeah.
For the most part, no one pays you any mind. After a few moments, though, you hear footsteps behind you, and you turn and see a warforged dressed in fine robes walking up to you. Ah, brother, what finds yourself out here at this hour?
Sometimes it feels so much better to talk to the gods without the constraints of four walls.
At least the one god, Tyr.
Well, we all know that many people believe in many things.
That is accurate. The night air is cool tonight, wouldn't you say?
Very much so. Not a bad evening.
That is true.
What brings you out?
Oh, I ran an errand. I must bring food in for the high priest. And you see him hold up a bag, and you can kind of smell some breads and things, maybe some meats. A bit of the sack itself has been soaked with the oils from the meat down on the bottom. And he just kind of makes a sheepish grin, the best that a warforged could do.
Do you need any help with that?
I do believe I have it. Are you not resting in the temple tonight?
I'm on my way back in, yes.
I must say, you do not look familiar to me. Have you been with the temple long?
I've come with the caravans.
Oh, of course, of course. Well, I am Zev. What might your name be?
You said his name was what? Seraph? Seraph?
Zev, Zev.
Zev. Well, I didn't think about that, so. Oh, what isn't a name?
Ah, so
We
much.
all
But surely they call you something.
Well, if you must know, I've given up a lot of my past when I joined the temple.
As we all must do.
But
Ah,
if you must call me something, you may call me Corvin.
Corvin, a nice name. Is that a family name?
As I said, I gave up a lot when I joined.
I myself am from Baldur's Gate. Have you been there?
I have not, but I have heard many things.
It is a fantastic place, but in the service of the gods, we must make sacrifices, as you know.
That is true. If it weren't for the gods, I would have been in so much trouble.
I as well. But the night air chills a bit. Shall we make our way inside?
Correct, after you.
He nods at you and walks forward, and uh, he opens the doorway up, and you hear the door as he opens it just enough for you to pass through, which makes sense considering the size of the doorways. You you walk in and see a very ornate building. Stone benches kind of line the outside wall. In the center, with benches around, is a large statue of the god Tyr, wielding a long sword in one hand, um, a bandage over both eyes, and from what you know of the gods, you know he is the god of justice. And the most notable thing is he is missing his right hand. And Zev walks up and kind of kneels a bit and bows his head down. And you see him turn his head a bit to you.
I will mimic as much as I can.
Give me a performance check.
I do know some about religion,
I know.
so does that give me any kind of?
It's not like he's doing a special handshake or anything.
11.
Fair enough. Um, though slightly rough, you mimic his actions, and he turns. Well, brother, I must be on my way. Best journeys to you. I hope to see you in the morning during worship.
I'll be around.
Fantastic.
May
And,
Tyr ever see you in his light.
and he nods at you and scurries toward the back. The place is quite large. It seems to go on for quite some time in one direction. It's not particularly wide, but it is long. The smell of incense is in the air. There's some torches lit around the inside, but they're not burning brightly enough for a full illumination, but just enough so that you don't trip over something as you're moving through the place.
All right, I'm gonna go somewhere behind like a larger pillar or something,
Sure.
and then activate the invisibility.
Okay. You kind of look around to see if there's anyone paying attention. You don't really see anyone exactly, and step behind the pillar. And uh, with a brief pause, you feel yourself fade away from existence.
And then I'm going to stealthily start walking around the temple looking for anywhere that they might keep something locked up.
All right. Uh, as you look around, there's various hallways that jut off to small offices or sleeping chambers for the priests that stay there in the temple. And I would say this is going to take you at least an hour to just. It's a rather large place. There's an upper mezzanine, um,
Mm-hmm.
and after quite some time and a reactivation of the robe, you do see a sign on one of the hallways that says "Forbidden Library."
Okay. I will continue to be stealthy and make my way in that direction.
All right. You go ahead and roll stealth. By the way, not that that's probably even matters.
Is that a advantage since I'm invisible?
Yeah.
14.
All right. You stay fairly stealthy, keeping your footsteps as quiet as possible. Um, you eventually come down the stairways into a small landing. Uh, you see a pedestal there and a rather balding man with uh, kind of a halo of white long hair that drapes over his shoulders a bit. A bit more ornate robes than what you have on, and kind of a red sash that is draped over his neck, and uh, there is a band around the top of his head that kind of looks like the bandage that's around Tyr's eyes, and uh, he's semi dozing, and as you get close, and he's just looking up. Beside him is a door, and you can see it's sealed by a lock of some sort.
Okay. Do I see any kind of like keys or anything like that on this gentleman?
You do not. He's kind of his body wise. He's kind of hard to see because he's behind this pillar or counter or that. But he is awake.
Okay. Um, I want to stand out of the way just in case the invisibility wears off again, and just keep my eye on him.
Okay.
See if he starts to fall asleep again.
He sits there, and you see him. Actually, wow, natural 20. Um, look around, and you almost think it's kind of a mental thing when you have invisibility on you, and he's looking right at you, and you kind of slowly move your way around into a dark corner that you can find there. Um, but his eyes avert side to side, and then you see him slip a hand into his robe, and he pulls out a small flask, and he unscrews the top, and he kind of looks around again, takes a small drink, looks around, puts it back inside, and he just sits there looking around. He is not dozing off at the moment. What would you like to do?
See what I got. I think I'm gonna continue to wait and see if anything changes with him.
All right. While that's going on, Blaylock and Melu and Galtier arrive at Tindra's den. And you step inside with Melu, and she kind of sheepishly follows behind you. You see Tindra there attending. Ah, you've returned.
Yes, and we need to rent another room.
Well, I can certainly accommodate that. And she begins shuffling through a drawer and pulling out a key. And how long might your guest be staying?
For now, the same amount of time we are, which I think would be 6 days at this point.
Oh, 6 days. Let me see. And she pulls out a ledger and begins writing. And who might this room be for?
Just keep under my name.
Ah, okay. And remind me your name again?
Galtier.
Ah, okay. I see. Galtier. 2 rooms? Alright, that will be,
Say 2 room? It's
Well-
only 1 room.
well, your room and her room, correct?
My room
Galtier.
is paid for by Grayson. I guess we could just add it to her.
I think
his.
she's totaling the number of her rooms assigned to you.
Yes, that's correct. Alright, so that is 6 gold pieces.
Okay, I'll hand over the 6 gold.
She takes it and slides it into a small pouch that she drops into a drawer there and takes the key and slides it across the counter. And will your guest require company services?
Neither of those. Maybe a bath at some point in time, but not right now.
We do have bathing services available.
But for now, that's everything. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Well, enjoy your evening. And she nods at Melu, and Melu just kind of reaches up and brushes a strand of hair out of her face and nods back. Thanks, Galtier.
Of course. We told you we'd get you covered for that. I'll hand her over the key.
It's gonna be different sleeping in a real bed.
Set up a stack of hay near some water.
He's a nice guy. She just kind of shoves you with her shoulder.
The Blaylock here even fixed a sign for him.
I did.
He said something about that. He said some cowman came
Cow man.
and replaced it. He showed me. Took him a while, but I saw.
He was a nice man.
He is. fear for his safety in his old age.
And in the area in which his inn resides.
It's true. And Tendra, you don't happen to be needing anyone for work. You see Tendra kind of,
He doesn't listen either.
Nobody listens.
Hey, Lou.
We told you not to worry about it.
I think she's inquiring about the bathing services.
No, I wasn't. I'm just trying to secure my future here in Verminia.
Well, how about we go visit the other friend first before we take this avenue of trying to secure your future here?
All right. Would be good to get some rest.
I think we all could use some rest right now.
Will be difficult, not knowing where Zoramir and Arlo are. Have they come in yet? Now look at Tendra.
Tendra.
I have not seen them arrive. You're talking of the Dragonborn and the Halfling?
Correct.
Yes.
I have not seen them all evening.
This is worrisome. And thank you, Tendra.
I have to agree, though. Most things are closed at this time of night.
I hope they have not gotten themselves into any sort of trouble with the constabulary.
As long as we don't find them having to get executed tomorrow, I think we should be okay.
Goodness.
You saw those rules. Basically, every other thing was off with your head.
They were severe. Imagine what it would be without such severity. Well,
I think
now is there like tables down here in the main foyer, or
Yeah.
is it okay?
Mhm.
Well, I will wait down here, and for the return of our compatriots.
I think I'm gonna go get some rest. We'll
Good.
see about things in the morning.
Good.
Yes, go ahead and get some sleep.
And she walks over to Tendra, and she pulls out a few silver. Can I get some food? Since
I thought she already ate. Didn't she already eat?
She did.
Oh,
She ate very little.
oh, she did eat very little, didn't she?
And Tendra says, "We'll get something up right away." She takes the silver.
I've heard they have good pies.
Maru smiles at you. You always liked pies.
Yeah, you should wait till you meet my friend Z. He loves pies.
I'm more of a cake man myself. Cupcakes I'm quite fond of. And I'll pull out Nadani's cookbook.
Oh golly, who'd you get yourself mixed up with this time?
It's one heck of a ragtag team of adventurers, that's for sure. And if that cookbook is what I think it is, it knocked one of our friends out cold for the night.
These recipes are quite amazing. Not to be taken lightly.
I won't need those. I'll be out.
Have a good evening, Melu. We will be down here if you wish for company.
And she walks over to you sitting at the table and kind of pulls on one of your horns and kisses you on the top of the head, and almost pets you on the back of the head, like kind of scruffles your fur.
Like I'm a dog.
Good boy.
Comes over to Galtier and just almost collapses in a hug.
I'll give her a big hug back.
Pats you on the face, and I'll see you in the morning.
I'll be here.
And she makes her way up the stairs and disappears down to her room.
Well, Blaylock, how do you think Grayson's faring?
Well, he is very adept at adapting to his situations. I'm sure he'll be fine. He is
Most
equipped
likely.
with the experience of the road and the experience of this city to know what to do. I have faith that he will come out alive and uncaptured.
That would be the best situation. I don't even care if he has the book on him right now. If he's just able to find out where everything's at. I'm gonna walk up to Blaylock. I'll be right back. I'm gonna walk over to Tendra. Tendra,
Yes.
do you have any information on the Silent Steps? I think that's what they're called, right?
I don't know what you are talking about.
He takes money.
I know it takes money, Blaylock.
Lots of it.
Everything takes money. I'll put down a goal. You sure you don't know anything about the Silent Steps? I've heard their name twice tonight. Twice today already.
You know, now that I remember it, how much are you putting down?
I'll put down a plat. How about that?
All right.
Damn.
I need information.
Well, my memory does seem to remember that they're kind of a for-hire guild of less desirables. But if you need something done in secret, if you need someone departed from this world or something recovered, they excel at such activities. But finding them can be challenging. They usually find you. The leaders are, or the leader is only heard in whispers.
What are those whispers saying?
Well, I wouldn't know. Not my area of expertise. They don't influence or affect my business.
If you had to take a guess on what the average employee of the Silent Step was, how would you guess it? Describe them for what you've heard.
Some of them, from what I've heard, are finely dressed. Look like nobles. Find their way into certain people's homes. Some of them ladies or men of the night. And after various activities, they take what's targeted and work their way out. Others are your more seedy individuals. Really, I hear that the syndicates use them more than anyone.
That's probably pretty accurate. Thank you for that information.
Any time. And she slides
No.
the plat into her pocket.
I don't mess around with information. I'll walk back over to Blaylock.
Are you paying for services tonight?
Remember
I'll
how I
raise
asked?
one eyebrow to him.
Remember how I asked you earlier this morning? Have you ever heard of word silent step.
I recall you mentioning the phrase, but I did not have any information.
Well, Gilly said it in the meeting we had with her. That
This
if we
is
wouldn't
true.
take this job, she would go for them. And I wanted to know what they were. Is there something we need to know about in case we run into them? Or what?
And what did you discover?
I'll relay what Tendra told me back to Blaylock.
Okay.
Oh dear. Some kind of murder for hire.
Doesn't sound like just your average mercenary job, though. Doesn't really even
More.
sound like what we're doing for Gilly right now.
More like an assassin.
Yes, especially with them having groups of nobility already.
Tread lightly with that sort.
I can agree with that. They don't seem to be a group I would like to have anyone I know mess with.
How can you trust someone who would take another's life for money? They would do anything to
Everybody
fill their
has a low
pockets.
point.
True. Having not been raised in this city, I am unfamiliar with such guilds.
This city has a lot of people who will kill to stay ahead, or look to have someone else killed to venture their own gain.
Cults and guilds everywhere. It's quite unbecoming when you gather large amounts of people together in such a fashion. Only the poorest of qualities comes through.
I agree. You tend to start seeing the worst in everything over here.
Who are we to judge when we are at a brothel?
This is only a brothel if you want it to be a brothel.
True. Well, what are we going to do about Arlo and Zoramir? Did they tell you where they were going?
I don't remember them saying anything about where they were going.
I
I
don't
know
recall
when I was-
either.
I was walking with, let's see, this morning, they said they wanted to go take a visit to the weapons shop for Zoramir,
That's right, yes.
and he went to us with the herbalist
True.
yesterday, so I don't know if you need to go back there for anything.
He needed to accompany Arlo, or as they went somewhere, the armorer?
Yeah, the armor is the same place as the weapons shop. It's the same guy who does it
Yes.
all.
I hope they didn't get themselves into some kind of trouble with the armorer.
I don't think he would do much since a lot of people from our group have spent money there to get their weapons or armor repaired.
Sometimes Zoramir can be quite impulsive.
He can be. Hopefully he hasn't done anything, though.
Yes. I would say we should go look for him, but what if they come back and we're out looking for them?
Nighttime isn't a good time to go out looking for people in this town.
True. So, what do you think of Meilu now? She's grown.
She's changed a lot since we were kids. She's
Hmm.
she's gone through a heck of a lot to be where she's at now.
Well, Gaultier, so have you.
Yeah, but I took a worse path than she did.
Hmm. Hmm. How are you holding up after the loss of your father, right?
Yeah, it was the father
Yeah, it was
that
the
died.
father,
You
yeah.
know, he died, and I was like, "Yeah, I gotta go bandage up real quick."
How are you handling things with the loss of your father?
Well, I didn't know for the longest time he was even still alive.
Hmm.
I didn't know anything about Meilu for the longest time either. I've been searching for them both for years.
Hmm.
I was definitely wish I could have had more time to talk to him. Definitely wish I didn't find him in that situation, being sacrificed for some portal. A bunch of misguided people.
Well,
But I'm not as bad as I was the last time I lost a parent, that's for sure.
that is quite a bit to take in. Imagine being captured in such a manner. Who knows what she had to endure.
Well, from the sounds of what she told me from the desert, from that encampment we were in, she was forced to kill her comrades at the entertainment of those building those ships.
Mm,
That's not something I could easily see.
no. Those types of situations can change somebody.
That they can.
She may not be the same person you remember from your childhood.
Based on what I had found out, I know she's not the same person, but she's not entirely different either.
I hope she is accommodating to us wanting to care for her.
She's a stubborn one for sure, but we can.
I think that's in the blood.
It's definitely in the family.
Hmm. Well,
How long do you want to stay down here waiting for those two? Or
Well,
three?
there's three of our party that have not reported back yet. This is very worrisome.
Is there anybody else in the tavern at all, or the den?
You can see a few patrons there, humans, male and female, like sitting around, having an ale, but brought in from somewhere else.
Okay. Guess for the most part, all we can do now is hope they either come back soon or we hear something from them.
True. I was able to work on my staff this past evening and made significant strides.
You put all those gems you bought to use earlier today?
I'm glad you mentioned that. I need to return to you those gems.
I don't need those gems for anything. I was only holding onto them for you.
Maybe I'll give them to Grayson. I don't want to hold on to them.
We
But
could use them to buy more some more supplies. We'll have to trade them in probably still to get money for them.
True.
Those goggles that Grayson has, ones that lets him see in the dark.
Yes.
I believe Arlo has them right now.
Hmm.
You have anything for yourself like that too? I know you can't see too far in the dark.
I have my own goggles. They allow me to see a few yards in front of me, but more often than not, I'm just going to use a torch.
That does work. I wasn't sure if you could use any of these gems to increase your sight vision with those goggles.
I could, but with all of the projects that I'm working on now, it's very difficult for me to be able to focus on such mundanity when I am fairly reliant on you guys for the ability to see, and I can make accommodations with the torch.
Yeah. A recent benefit from the one sword we picked up in that dungeon is it can supply light too, so that can help the party. If we ever get into combat, they can see us easier.
True. Well, I've got an idea to pass the time, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold up just a piece of parchment that I have, just some blank parchment, to
Like
like
tic-tac-toe?
small triangular shape.
Okay.
And then Gaultier, I'd like you to hold up your hands.
I'm just gonna
Thumbs
do this.
No, your hands. Your hands, not your arms. Put your thumbs towards the middle of your body, palms out.
Like this?
Like that. Yes. And then I'll put the triangle down on the table. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my magical tinkering and just give it a little bit of weight. And then I'm gonna take my big old meaty minotaur finger and just flick it right in between his two hands.
Okay.
Does it come through or does it veer off?
Give me a dexterity check.
Okay.
Somebody's inspired from last night's game.
9.
It veers off to the side.
Here, your turn. You try it.
What is this? What are you doing?
Try it. It's something I've just made up.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll try.
I'll hold up my hands. So I see you have a much bigger target.
Performance check. Is that what I'm doing?
Dexterity.
Oh, great! It's a plain dexterity check. That should end well. 11.
It hits his finger and bounces off to the side.
It seems I'm not much better than you were at this.
Well, we should practice. Maybe I put too much weight into this. Maybe here. Let me try this. And I'm gonna give it a little bit of a little bit of glitter, so it'll shine, and then take a little bit of the weight off. So now it's going to be a little glowing triangle. Are you ready?
Let's give it a shot. I'll put my hands back up.
All right. Let's see. And there. 13.
We're
And-
slowly going up by 2.
And it goes through.
See.
Apparently,
Yes.
you just need glitter to fly.
Well. Goodness. We should patent this.
get all the kids playing it at school.
Yes, that would be very good. This would be a big time sink for young people.
Be one way to keep them distracted while at lunch
Yes.
or in middle of class.
Mm-hmm. So what have you been up to this past day or so?
Besides waiting for my armor to get repaired, trying to work on this thing. And I'll show him the infuser. There's enhancements in a book I read on it, but I'm not very good at it.
I'm curious about what that is. Apparently you're mixing up some sort of chemicals.
In lesser words, it's a chemical of some sort being stored up in this vial. It can be used to help with some of the abilities I have.
Really?
It can also be used to cast a necrotic spell.
Really? Quite useful.
It does come in handy. I don't tend to use it for the spell, though, and I'm trying to add more vials to it to get more uses out of it.
It
But
has come in handy.
The book I read, though, that came with this, that's been real helpful on the sword rights I have.
We found that in Brecken's sword, correct?
No, we found this in what was left of Portstown.
Portstown or Cape's Vassal?
Cape's Vassal. But which one's the one that was destroyed? I'm sorry.
Cape's Vassal.
Okay. I can't scroll the map. We found it from your friend that when we saw him that he was half alive. He gave me something and went to his house.
Very interesting. Do you think we'll make it out of this alive?
Well, there's really only two options. I'm hoping we'll make it out of this alive. But considering how long and tiring of a fight it was against that beholder, I don't know what we're about to run into.
It's not so much Roman Karth that concerns me. It's the mystery surrounding my mother, Galtier.
Speaking of your mother, has she tried contacting you recently? I thought you said that she used to talk to you telepathically.
She did. And for a time, I put an enchantment on myself through an infusion to prevent that. And it may have caused whoever was contacting me. I am not positive it was my mother. I question everything now, but here.
It's not a bad thing to do on this.
Gautier, there's my mother's name is strewn across history books and is tied closely to what has befallen this island. Do you know how much my mother told me about these situations?
I imagine very little.
No, none at all. None at all, Gautier.
Sometimes our parents try to keep information from us, try to keep us safe, and it doesn't always end up helping us at all. Or helping them.
I wonder now if she was hiding in the Two Rivers.
She might have done stuff she regretted and wanted to get away from her past.
Yes.
But it sounds like the past that came back and haunted her. To haunt her.
If she was hiding, From whom? Roman Carth? Or those that rallied against Roman Carth?
I think it depends on which side of the fence she was on. Was she with him or against him?
The Lanfear, I know, was not one that I read in these history books. Not at all.
I don't think I know anything about his mom, do I?
No.
Okay.
Wait, weren't you there in Breckenfjord when I was reading through there and relaying all that info to people?
That's the first time I heard of your mom. Like, I don't know anything from before the
before
group.
that. Yeah.
All I know about your mom is what I've heard from you.
Yes.
What we found out on our travels. Heck, even God dang it. I can't remember the lion guy's name. All I can remember is the freaking Forget Man. Who goes there? Oh, that's the only name I can remember.
Who goes there?
Even the one guy at the first tavern I went to seemed to know your mother's name or of your mother.
It's not a name I like to speak about anymore. Since the situation with the king of Breckenfjord, I am hesitant to even bring her name up.
That is understandable.
But she is a part of this. And that concerns me, Gaultier.
I think at this point in time, we're all a part of this.
Yes. As I expressed to Grayson, she is my mother, and I haven't seen her since she was cast out of the Two Rivers.
Well, I do hope we can find her, and I hope she's alive.
As do I. I just hope the tales that I read about were exaggerated.
If they're from times of old, they could be exaggerated. We all know how spoken history gets changed.
True, but you know what else was in those books? Craft. And everything that we read about Carthaginian of old, craft of today, was true.
I thought it was craft of old Carthaginian of today.
Is it? Did I have that backwards?
You do. He goes by Carthaginian now, up in the little town by that plateau we were at.
Yep. Craft of old Carthaginian of today.
Everyone also believed he was dead for the longest time, except for whoever is paying him to make those machines. They most likely know who he really is.
Those machines. The work that he's done. You know, the person supplying him with the funds, making the requests of him. Do you remember where they originated?
Right here where we're at.
Right here.
That's just another avenue you might need to try to find out and stop.
Everything leads back to Verminia.
Evil things come from this town. Not surprised the roots are spreading.
It's the power. The power being centralized in this area, in this town. It corrupts. So much rot.
How long has it been?
A while.
I was just sitting here chatting.
Yeah.
I think it's time to go up and get some rest if they haven't came back by now. We'll have to look for them in the morning.
I suppose. Yes, I am not their mother. If they decided to go and get themselves into some situation, they'll have to get themselves out tonight or wait until the morrow and we can figure out what has happened to them.
I agree with that. And I'm going to get up and head to my room.
Okay. Get up and head to your room, Blaylock. You're left at the table.
Again, by yourself.
I'll see you in the morning.
Yep.
All right. Blaylock? You going to
I'll
bed?
give it some.
Okay. You're gonna
I'll give it some time. Roll the staff on the table for a bit. Then head up to bed.
All right. So that leads us to Grayson. You stand and watch him. It's now been a couple hours, and while you've seen him like his head bob down and nod off, for the most part he's been fairly attentive to just watching who's coming into the area.
Has there been any foot traffic the entire time?
No. As it gets
And you said
later into
door
the
was
evening,
behind him.
yeah. As it gets later into the evening, you don't hear as much up on the upper level as either. You quietly recast your third use of invisibility.
Okay. I am going to sneak up behind him and try and knock him out.
All right. Give me a stealth with advantage.
$18.
Okay. You come up behind him. And how are you knocking him out?
I'm going to try to choke him out.
Okay.
God tell you to go to sleep.
Kisses, night night.
You begin choking him. I think that makes your invisibility go away because that's technically an action.
It is. It is.
So he begins struggling. And his head falls over to the side and he becomes limp.
Okay. I'm going to hide him behind the counter he was standing at.
Okay. You kind of
And
push him down and underneath it in a restful pose.
search his body for like any keys or anything like that that would go to this locking mechanism.
Especially that flask he was drinking out of.
Okay, give an investigation.
21.
Okay. You search and you find a small pouch of gold. He's got maybe 3 gold and 25 silver on him, and you also find a small component pouch on him that has a small crystal inside. That's all you find.
Is there anything on the counter or the desk that he was behind?
Nope.
I'm going to take a look at the door.
Okay. It's a rather ornate door. It's got some carvings in it of images of Tyr, um, and you can see the latches keeping the door closed. While they have keyholes on them, it's a strange kind of keyhole compared to it's not normal. It's shaped strange.
I want to take a look at that component box that had the crystal
Okay.
in it.
Going through it, you see typical spellcasting components, a bit of this, a dash of that, um, that kind of stuff, and what you would assume is a focusing crystal.
Okay. Of course, the guy guarding the door wouldn't have a fucking key for the door. I want to see if I can figure out how to get this door open.
All right. Um, give me an investigation check on it.
Of course not. That's a 6.
All right. Looking at the locks themselves, it doesn't seem like they would be easily unlocked with lockpicks to you.
Looking for anything in the room that would be that I would even think could help with this door. I just find it odd that they have a guy guarding a door that he can't even open.
There doesn't seem to be a lot else around.
There on the counter is any kind of switches, toggles, or
It's
even looking at the door, since I know some things about religion, anything out of place, like slightly askew, or
give me an Arcana check.
18.
Looking around the locks after you were looking at them from a physical perspective, you can see trace amounts of residue, almost a magical residue around the locks. And that would be enough to assume that there's probably an alternate method of opening this doorway.
I want to cast detect magic and see if I can't figure, like, see if there's if I can trace out what was done.
The door locks definitely glow.
But like the trail, is it not like a design or something?
No.
Okay, is there any way I can using Arcana figure out how the locks unlock?
With the check that you had, you would have enough knowledge to know that this is opened by some kind of spell or word or incantation.
Hmm. All right, I'm going to make it look like this guy drunk himself, passed out. So I'm going to kind of drown his face in like my flask booze to make him smell like he's been drinking a lot.
As you're kind of
I'm
pouring
going,
this over his face, you hear
to take his flask out.
what is going on?
Brother, it seems you partook of too much of the god wine.
And he's looking up at you and blinking, and his face is wet uh, with the alcohol. I don't drink. I don't know what you're talking about. I am a priest.
Brother, as I kind of put his flask back in his hand.
And he looks at you, um, and he looks down at the flask. That's not mine. Why would you put such a thing in my hand? And you can see him like start licking around his mouth where you poured the alcohol in his face, and his eyebrows raise up like,
Your secret will remain safe with me, brother.
I still don't know what you speak of. What business do you have down here at this hour? He kind of stands
I
up.
heard you collapse.
Yes, I must have fallen off my chair and hit my head. My head is splitting.
Well, what kind of priest would I be if I just let a fellow brother fall laying on the ground?
Oh. Well, did you see anyone?
I did not.
Oh, good, good. You can't have people going into the forbidden library. Much too dangerous.
How so, brother?
Well, the books in there are not for the minds of the people. So I stand watch with the only key.
Oh, is that so? I've never seen a door mechanism like this, quite like this before.
Well, of course, well, judging by your robes, which are in a terrible disrepair, you should get those cleaned right away. You are not a high enough level with the priesthood. You're just an acolyte. You should not concern yourself with what's beyond that door.
Oh, but I dream of grander things.
We should
Getting a
only
head start
dream.
would help.
We should only dream of the things Tyr would appreciate: justice and law.
So, hiding books from the minds of growing individuals.
No, absolutely. If those
That is
books seek,
justice?
if those books seek to corrupt, I,
Ah,
I have served this place hand and foot for the last 60 long years. That's why
60 years.
they put me here, of course. No one else could be trusted with the security of such things.
So, if I was to tell Brother Zev that I found you here smelling of alcohol, would that be a great security risk? If I hadn't come by, anybody could have.
I don't know what you mean. I simply fell off my chair. I don't think you need to be talking to anyone about such fantastical stories. I'm well
So I'm
respected here.
sure that they wouldn't recognize that flask on you.
What flask? As he lightly puts a hand to his chest where he had put the flask back in his pocket.
I believe I would like you to show me how that door works.
Well, that is entrusted to just me and the High Priest himself. You are much too long, but you're really not
I will
going
be
to.
leaving this soon. Why would I think? What would it hurt to show me?
What knowledge do you need from inside this forbidden place?
I've never seen one before. This is a great temple. And as you know, we've traveled through to town. I've never seen anything like this. What would it hurt to show somebody who's eager to rise in the temple, in the ranks of the temple, all to serve Tyr?
Make a persuasion check.
Seven.
He gets up from his chair and sets a hand on your shoulder. My dear boy, we can't be troubling such a young mind as yourself. Why, someday you may be the one sitting here guarding this library with plenty of work and dedication to Tyr.
That's why I'm asking to have a head start. Show me the things that are so important. It's just the two of us. It's late. Nobody is around. You keep your secret, I keep my secret.
And you see him, his beard soaked with the elvish wine that you had in your flask. He kind of rubs it a little bit and smells his hand. And well, if we're keeping secrets, right? Is that what we're doing?
That can definitely be what we're doing.
Well, if of course you can keep a secret of what you accuse me of, which is certainly not true, and maybe give me a glass of whatever is in your flask, which you should not be drinking.
I keep it as a reminder of the temptations.
Is there much reminder left in your flask?
I'm sure I can give you as much as you'd like if you let me roam the library.
Look, just agreed. If the secret is kept, a small amount of time can be allowed.
My lips are sealed.
And you see him slowly reach into uh, his robes and pulls out the flask. Could you maybe fill this? Don't spill any. It already smells awful here. I'll have to get that cleaned up by morning. And he waves his hand and prestidigitates the mess away as it is.
Pull my flask out. I fill his up to the brim.
Well, if it is just for research, of course. Don't be corrupting your mind. I can let you in for a short time.
Much appreciated.
And he walks over to the door and sets his hand on the locks. Belk Manul Melnok. And you see the door locks glow a yellowish color, and you hear him. And he opens the door up. Just a short time. I'll be right here.
Short time. And I'll make sure to refill yours on my way out.
Don't take anything. These books are to stay in the library.
Understandable.
And he moves to the side, letting you in. And as you walk through past him, you hear the sound of a small gulp. Damn, that's good.
Okay, since I know what I'm looking for, I'm not gonna waste time. I'm just gonna look.
All right, give me an investigation check.
Motherfucker. It's a 10.
Okay. Inside the library, you're actually kind of surprised as you walk down a few stone stairways into a rather large collection of books stacked on tables, in bookshelves, scrolls littered about. This is going to take you longer than you expected as your first hour passes by. You hear from the door. You aren't doing anything irreverent in there with those books, are you?
No. I just didn't expect to have there were so many.
Yes, don't look in section E3. The mind doesn't need to see those images. Not
Oh
for a man
my.
of the cloth. And roll another investigation as you look through.
12.
Your investigation's awful.
Dude,
Digital dice.
can only be good at so many things.
Right.
At digital dice.
I think my computer just disconnected. It did.
Yeah, fake Z is out of whack. So, hold on. I gotta. There we are.
We'll get that going.
Yep. Oh, we got Bartosik, or Mr. Gautier. He's taking out his dog.
That's fine. So, as the second hour passes, I don't know what you're doing in there, but you're gonna need to hurry up. I can't let you stay much longer.
Understandable.
What was that odd slapping sound I heard? You aren't in section E3, are you?
Wouldn't even think of it.
That's a good boy. Give me another investigation.
Are you fucking kidding me?
One.
That one.
There's a lot of books in there. Go ahead. These aren't even mildly good rolls.
No. Dude, I mean, I got nothing for, for the investigation.
So you look through, and you're not quite sure how long they've been collecting books in here, but it has been a significant amount of time. So I think he leans in again. I'm going to need you to leave now. It's been quite some time, and we don't want your mind corrupted.
How about one more refill of that flask of yours?
And you hear just silence at the doorway. One more, but I can't let you have another bit of time in there. You're going to have to hurry it up, but a refill quickly. The people will start coming to the temple soon.
I will go and top him off.
You see him looking at you, specifically looking lower in your robes, and holds out his flask. Now, what exactly are you looking for? What are you doing in there?
There's just so much that the world needs to be protected from.
Protected, yes, yes, of course. That is most definitely the right word that you're looking for. Protected.
If I was to ever be in your place, just the knowledge that I have found so many books. I'm going in with great advantage.
I can give
Have you received anything recently?
Many books come through as the travelings come through, and we continue our mission to eradicate the evilness that resides on this island. The corrupted mind. But make your search quick, and then you must go. And remember, this is our secret. And he holds the flask up and kind of dips it toward you.
I fill it back up.
All right. So the time is shortened to look at this, so it'd be an investigation with disadvantage in this case.
Really? Because I need disadvantage?
Sorry.
3 and a 4, so fuck off.
It wouldn't have mattered anyways. All right, now. I'm gonna need you to leave for this evening. Morning will be coming soon.
Do you think maybe I could come back tonight?
He looks down. I know you're gonna hate me. Make a persuasion check. With advantage.
I've got plenty more of this.
Yeah. 12 with advantage.
The other one was in that one.
Your charisma's
Dude, digital dice sucks, man.
DM's
These
fault.
fucking digital dice suck.
Well, um, come back tomorrow and we'll talk about it then. Maybe with a proper donation to the faith, if you can acquire one in the day, or we can allow just a short amount of time.
You mean coppers for you?
Oh, no, not for me. I cannot be purchased. But a donation to the Temple of Tyr, of course. Maybe you could walk around and preach his praises today and out on the streets collect a suitable donation. Hard work drives much dedication. Take it from me.
Well, then I will return tonight.
All right. And he closes the door behind you and utters the words, and you see him seal back a small illuminated line around the locks. Now, don't you be talking about the things you've seen in there.
You have my word.
Well, morning comes soon. You're going to be quite tired. Long day for you.
That is correct.
And you see he's now cleaned himself up, and he looks pretty well spent himself.
I will head back to the den.
All right. As you step outside, you see that dawn is beginning to break for morning. And are you going to go sleep in Tindra's den?
Yep.
Okay. You travel over to Tindra's den, and she looks at you kind of surprised. Late night? Do you still have your robes on?
I would have taken them off after I left the temple.
Okay. Late night, I see.
Nothing a couple of hours won't. Yeah.
Well, who am I to judge? Sleep well.
If anyone asks, I'll be up in my room.
All right. And as you're walking by the way, 2 of your compatriots never returned tonight either, I'd imagine. They were out with you, but that seems to not be the case.
No, and that's troublesome. Thank you.
Sleep well again. And you drift off easily into sleep after a long night. Arlo.
Yes.
You hear the sound of waves crashing along the shore as the blackness turns into a blinding light. I need you to refresh your character sheet, by the way.
Oh.
You feel something sharp poking into your cheek repeatedly. And you turn and see rather large seagull poking into your face as the water rushes along your head, and you're soaked from the morning dew.
Smack the bird off of me. Kind of try to sit up.
Smack the bird.
Yeah.
You look around.
Try to take inventory of me, what I have, injuries.
You find yourself quite injured. Barely able to move. Everything hurts. You see the buildings around you, indicating you're somewhere near the old boot in that rougher section of town. Looking around, you see a small halfling's body, hood soaked in water as the water gently lifts him up, almost like it's going to take him out down the river. He lies there motionless.
Boromir, looking around for my backpack. See if it's there.
Backpack is back on you, as well as Zormir's.
I'm gonna go ahead and use second wind.
Okay.
Ooh, nice. 25. And I'm just gonna try to stand up as best I can and go to Zoramir. Drag him up out of the water.
You grab hold of Zormir, pull his body up onto the beaches. He's motionless.
I'm gonna start yelling at him, slapping him, trying to get him to wake up. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna dump a heal. I'm gonna yeah, you took everything out of there, didn't you?
I did not.
We'll put a healing potion down him.
You reach back and you reach for where you keep your healing potions. You're not there.
Them bastard kids.
Zormir refuses to rouse awake.
I'm gonna try to yell for help as I'm picking him up.
You pick him up and you start yelling for help, and you see a few people kind of turn and look at you and just shrug their shoulders. Walking. One guy off to the side. You see him standing with his leg apart, pissing on a building. And he looks over his shoulder with you. It looks like he had a long night. And he just shrugs his shoulder, turns back.
Does he have robes of tear on?
No.
I'm gonna just try to set him down. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay.
5 points.
All right.
Zoramir! Zoramir, can you hear me? Slap him on the face.
You see some of the cuts on him mend together. He doesn't rouse.
Stood. I'm gonna go ahead and pick him up and start walking. Come on, buddy, we gotta go. I gotta get you somewhere.
You feel the weight of his body heavy on your shoulder as you begin walking down the streets. The the sounds of the river fade into the distance. You can see as the sun rises for the day and people begin working their way out of their homes and coming out to do business. You, battered and beaten, carry Zormir over your shoulder.
Do I know where I'm at right now in the city?
You recognize that you're toward the docks.
I want to try to start making my way to Tender's Den as quickly as possible.
Okay. As you walk through the streets, slight limp, carrying this load, it's heavy on your shoulder. It takes you quite some time as it's not a lightweight. People look at you and they don't pay you much mind in the docks area, but as you get into the main streets, a few people kind of, you see some of the noble people kind of cover their mouth as they look at you and hurry off to the side. Takes you a bit of time at this pace. The rest of you, minus Grayson, wake up in the morning and come down for breakfast. Tendra is not there, but one of her goblin attendants is there and gathers you a quick breakfast and sets it down at the table. Galtier Melu joins you there, looking a lot more refreshed. Morning, Golly.
How'd you sleep? How was it being in an actual bed?
It was really good. It was really good. And she walks up to Blaylock and kind of scratches the back of his ear. How about you?
It's good to see you rested. Have you eaten breakfast yet?
No, but I think I might have some soon. You can smell it. It smells delicious.
I'll arouse Tendra's attention and see if we can get some breakfast.
The goblin attendant, because Tendra's not there.
Tendra, yes, I'll arouse Tendra's attendant to see if we can get some breakfast.
And he runs over to you. He, for a goblin, he's got a tuft of hair on just one side, and it's been slicked back with some kind of grease or oil, and he's got a mottled green skin, and he's wearing like a red petticoat with some black pants, and he's got a little napkin in a pocket on his in his petticoat.
Yeah. How can I help you?
We'd like 3 orders of breakfast of whatever.
Of champions.
Yes, some breakfast, please.
Shouldn't be a problem. I'll get right there to it.
Thank you.
And he stands there, his hand kind of out, laying on the table.
I'll give him a gold.
That's more than enough.
And he hops up and scurries off to another area. A few moments later, he comes back and he sets a bit of food in front of you. And the moments pass. You begin eating your breakfast before a silhouette enters the doorway. The light from the sun illuminating behind them. You just see a shadow of a large tailed creature carrying a heavy load passes through the doorway. And as your eyes adjust to the light, you see Arlo walking through the door carrying Zoramir.
I'll get up quickly and push the chairs back, and then rush over.
Zoramir, he's dead, Blaylock. I can't get him. Help him.
All right, I'll take
put him on the table.
With a thud, Zoramir's head kind of bounces on the table, and his body lies there.
Can I check for a pulse? Do a medicine check?
Do a medicine check.
Okay. I like to see if he's. Just a little check for breath. See if he's breathing. 8.
8.
Why don't you just?
Golly.
You put your ear down next to him, and you can detect a faint breath. You feel for a pulse, and it's very, very faint.
I gave him the heal potion, but he's not coming around.
He needs to rest. Here, let me have him, and I'll take him and then carry him up to his room.
You take Zoramir and lift him up, throw him over the shoulder, a place where he has ridden around many times.
You'll be all right, Zoramir. Just hold on.
And
Arlo, what the hell happened?
It's a long story. I need some healing. I can't hardly breathe. They took all my heal potions.
Do you still have a healing kit?
Yeah, I think. Let me look in my pack. Yeah. I think. Yeah, here's one. So I'm gonna use a.
I'll wave the goblin attendant over too, requesting more food for Arlo.
he nods at you and runs back to the kitchen, scurrying.
Let's see here.
Sounds like you.
Automatic adds, doesn't it?
No, you have to roll a medicine check.
It's a 20, isn't it?
Yep.
It's like a 10 out of combat.
Yeah, but he's got to roll a d20. Straight d20. Or medicine check.
13.
Okay. So, can use it.
Yep.
I think you also need to get some food and maybe rest like Zoramir does.
My past is one of my trainers from a few years ago. He's got brothers, and his sister, and they're none too happy because he had passed and he died. They tricked us, Zormir and I. Sent some kid into an alley, and all I know is there was a flash of light, and we were gone. They beat us. They worked us up pretty good.
Gone like a teleportation spell?
Maybe. I don't know. It just happened so fast. Blacked out. We were tied to chairs. They beat Zormir pretty good, trying to get information out of me. They beat Zormir pretty good.
Based on how Zormir looked, it looked more like he had. I can't believe they would have just done that much damage just to get some information out of you. Where did you guys go yesterday?
I'm gonna wait till Blaylock gets back.
Fair enough.
Well,
Why don't you
so
eat a little bit?
So yeah, let me get something to eat. I hurt everywhere.
Blaylock, you carry Zoramir and take the key to the room out of his pocket, unlock the door, gently set him on the bed.
Yep. Gonna strip him down and examine him. Find out where the injuries are.
As you, how far are you stripping him down?
Well, I mean, I don't know where the wounds are, so.
Okay.
I've got an unconscious halfling in front of me who's barely clasping on the light.
Zormir has already seen him naked. He just returned the favor.
So you remove parts of his clothes to examine the wounds, and you see he's got cuts and slashes all over his body. You also see the extent of the scales, which are a lot more prevalent than what you've seen before. Across the back, chest area, legs. He has cuts and looks like he's been pierced by spears. He has bruises all over.
My goodness, what did you do? And I'll get a fresh set of clothes on him, and then I'm just gonna I'll cast Cure Wounds on him, and then if everything looks like, if it looks like he's gonna pull through, then I'll pull the covers over him and let him rest.
Okay. Go ahead and cast Cure Wounds on him.
Yep. That and okay, that'd be 27.
Okay. You see the wounds pieced together, the bruises, some of them partially heal. After a few moments, his eyes swollen, kind of partially crack open. Blaylock?
I don't know what has happened. I will find out another time when you are well. You need to rest. You are in bad shape.
Where's Arlo?
He is fine. He's downstairs. You're in Tendra's den.
I sure could go for a pie. And you see
You
his
sit-
eyes close. His head just kind of flops over to the side.
Consider it done, friend. Now I'll set the key. Yeah. I'll make sure that it's all secure. So in whatever fashion that needs to be, whether it's Yeah.
Okay. You walk outside of the room, lock the door behind you, and take the key, slide it under the door,
There we go. Yeah, perfect.
and you come down, and you can see Arlo wrapping some of his wounds as he's trying to eat breakfast. His face is swollen. Now that you're getting a better chance to look at him, he looks bad.
Arlo, what happened?
We got attacked in an alley after we left the Fighters Guild.
You
Hey.
left the what?
The Fighters Guild. Zoramir and I went and fought a couple champions. And let me tell you, that was fun. But more about that later. My sword master, he has a brother and sister here, and when we were coming to Drakenwald, he was coming to try to make amends with them, and he died on the way here. And so Bregsfjord, I had him buried at the temple, and I was given he had a pin crest with this crest of his family on it, and he wanted me to find his brother and sister to let them know what happened, and I've been looking for him, just listening for him, and they took Zoramir and I. There was a flash at the end of this alley, and we went from a flash to inside a room, and we were tied up, and they were beating out Zoramir, trying to get information out of me, and they accused me of killing him, and they were wanting that crest emblem back, and I don't have it anymore. It was in my backpack. I told him that it might have got messed up when we were in the desert when all of our backpacks got dumped out. They're working for the Knights of Arthseth. They've got the VK on their necks, and they said if I don't find this crest in 3 weeks, they're going to kill one of us. They've been following us for the last month. I don't know. Didn't really get a whole lot of information out. I asked questions and they wouldn't answer it. But they're powerful when you're tied up. They're sick people.
I'm gonna look at him. I'm gonna blink. Just continue blinking. Arlo, that's a lot to take in, Arlo.
Yeah, it hurt when they hit after about the 5th or 6th time.
From start to finish, the Fighters Guild, which I suppose. No, I don't suppose. Why would you? And this, so you have a sword master?
Yeah. After my parents died, I went and just kind of left and started exploring, and they died about 5 years ago, and so I was just traveling. I was in Waterdeep, and I was just taking odd and end jobs, and Miyagwa, he's seen me and seen my skills, and so he took me under his wings to be a better samurai fighter, and I spent a couple years with him. That's how I became who I am, the fighter that I am. He was
Arlo.
getting old, and he told me
Arlo.
about his brother and sister.
Here, I have taxed you so. Here, and I'm gonna put my hand on him, and I'll cast Cure Wounds for 20, and you need to rest. You are in no better shape than Zoramir. You're practically babbling
I,
with everything
Well,
that's happened to you.
one thing I'm going to tell you now. If I find them, I will kill them. No questions asked. I will kill them on the spot.
Well, that would be a good way to get yourself thrown in prison.
At least
Melu-
I'll
Especially
be.
in
Melu
this
speaks
town.
up.
I agree. It would seem that we would almost want to take this issue up with the constabulary.
Melu looks
You
at
do
you,
what you
Arlo.
must.
Who are these people?
They're just the Knights of Arseth, and I don't know what there's got to be something with this rune, with this crest. There was some writing on the back of it. It was in a foreign language, and I didn't know what it. I couldn't understand it. All I know is I was instructed to find his brother and sister and let them know what happened, and trying to make them make the family come back together because they had split. He didn't see eye to eye with them, so I don't know. I don't know what. There's something must be really powerful with this crest because it's just a crest.
What would we tell the authorities? How would you find them?
I don't know. I don't know where they're at.
Do they have names? A last name, perhaps?
Yeah, they're. Well, if they got the same as my master, it's Truda.
You see Melu. She stops eating, sets her utensils down, looks over at Galtier. Galtier, no. No. And she looks at all of you. Let them run.
Run.
What do you know about the name?
The Trudakin. It's unearthly. Basically, bounty hunters. When they want to find someone, they find them. If they want you dead, you're dead.
They said they've been following us for 3 weeks now. Or 3 months. I don't remember. It's been a long time they've been following us, watching us.
Galtier, it's dark magic. They have to. They're ruthless, cruel, and they have connections everywhere.
Unfortunately, it sounds like even if we were to run, they could find us. And if Arlo doesn't get them back that pendant, somebody's dying.
Well, and she looks at you, Arlo. Just give it to them.
If I had it, I would have gave it to them. It's not in my pack anymore.
But where did you lose it?
Somewhere in the desert when we were trying to save you, they dumped all our packs out. It could be in one of somebody else's pack. I don't know. We'll have to look.
By the gods, if you get Galtier killed for this, you'll have more problems than them to deal with.
Well, get in line.
And she stands up from the table, looks over at Galtier, and blinks a couple times. She just walks out.
I'll get up and follow her.
Okay.
Arlo,
Where's-
you
where's-
have had a long night.
Where's Grayson?
He has been sent out we have been tasked with looking for something. We can talk about it later when you are rested. We may have a means of meeting with the king, but it will possibly come at great cost.
Let's hope it's sooner rather than later. I'm ready to leave this town. If you excuse me, I'm going to go lay down for a few hours. If you get after a couple hours you need me, come get me.
I will at that.
I'll take my plate of food and go to my room.
All right. All right. So you open the door to your room, go inside, look around, the sunlight shining through the window. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna lay down, go to sleep.
All right.
Think about, and then just start thinking about all the events and in order they are, and see if I can't try to think about where we were at. Somebody pinpoint them.
You step over in thought, kind of stare at the window for a moment, looking out, thinking of all this that happened. Looking down in the street, you see a familiar bald character looking up at you. A grin crosses his face, and as someone walks in front of him, he disappears from view like the wind. Step away, sit on your bed, and fall over into deep sleep. Blaylock, you're now sitting at a table by yourself. Empty and half-eaten plates surround the table.
This has gotten most severe.
Galtier, you run out. You can see Melu walking away. She turns and looks at you, lets you catch up. Galtier, why don't we just run away? Take a ship. We'll go to the mainland. Go to Crasmore. We have to go somewhere.
I can't just leave them. We've started something. I need to make sure I help them see it through.
You will die.
Everybody could die if this all goes south. What we're trying to stop won't just stop on this island. If we can't stop it here, it'll destroy everything.
I just need to... I think I just need to think. Some time alone. And I think you do too. World ending. A magic sword. Things destroying everything. Doesn't this sound unreal?
It all sounds unreal, but you also haven't seen what I've seen with them. We just fought a beholder a couple days ago over this sword piece.
You can see her eyes well up. Golly, you're all I have. And now your friend has gotten you in even deeper. And then he's killing someone in the streets?
He's a little fight obsessive, that one. I'm not gonna let him kill somebody in the streets here. It wouldn't end well for him that way. But I think we need to find this pendant that you don't have to help find this pendant. But this pendant needs to be found. You never know who they're gonna target just because they want to target somebody.
But what if you're the friend? What if you're the one that they just killed because of this person's mistake? Whether it's his fault or not.
From what I've seen, I think if they're going to kill one of his friends, it's not going to be me as the newest person in this group with them. He seems to have a tighter bond with Zoramir than me.
Look what they did to him.
I know.
And that was just moments. Beholders, listen to yourself. Water gods? What else? Liches? What kind of things? Werewolves?
Done it. Seen it.
Thing is, a lich is actually the main thing we're trying to stop.
What is wrong with you? If you want me to leave, just say so.
I would never want you to just leave.
Then go with me.
I can't just abandon them.
She turns.
You heard what Grayson said at the table. We're part of a family now. It's bigger than just us. They've helped me through a lot.
Melu turns away from you. Just go. Go back to your friends.
I'm not gonna just abandon you. Like I told you at the hideout, I just found you again. Why would I do that? Yes, I want to help them. I want to help them finish something I started with them.
Go to your friends.
And what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go to the silent steps?
I need to think. I just need some time.
I think everyone needs time to figure out what's happening right now.
I have some decisions I need to make.
If you want a job, I know you have bigger things in your mind right now. But one of the places we did want you to try to work at is the Broken Spoke. It would be a better position than Tendra's Den if you want to stay in this town. But if you want to leave to the mainland, I can understand that too.
I think if I stay, I'm gonna end up dead. Both of us together. And she lightly touches you on the shoulder. Just think about it. And she pushes your shoulder away. I'll see you later.
You better.
And she puts her head down and walks into the emerging crowds into the streets.
I'll head back into the den.
You walk in and you see Blaylock kind of talking to himself. Blaylock, you see Galtier in the doorway.
Where's Melu?
She said she had to take time to think and vanished off into the crowd.
I fear that this situation might have pulled her in. The group wanting this item so badly will likely equate her with us.
That is the problem now. And if they're as bad as she says, well, they'll hunt you down no matter what. It doesn't seem like anywhere we go will be safe.
We don't have the time to head back to the desert. I, for one, know that when I received my belongings back, there was stuff unaccounted for, as well as stuff I had never before gathered myself.
Same. When I got like this potion, no idea what it does, and a rope, and I lost my crossbow. I don't remember seeing a pendant.
DM, didn't I get the crossbow? Or somebody else? I don't remember who
Z
had the
got
crossbow.
my stuff.
Okay, yeah.
The meta right now, Z has all my stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
What rope did you stumble on?
I have no idea. But right now, I don't think a rope is part of a concern. I also don't want to. I agree. We don't have time to go back to find that pendant. Did Arlo tell us we have 3 weeks? He had 3 weeks, or just never mentioned that?
Yeah.
He did.
Yep.
Okay. Especially now if we only have 3 weeks to try to find that in the hellhole that desert was.
No, but you struck on something, Gaultier. I was missing a rope from my pack.
I'll dig it out and hand it over. This is what I found in my backpack.
You see your familiar, I think it was a rope of climbing or something.
Right,
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's interesting. This was my rope. I wonder if
I'll hand her the potion I found too. I think it was a potion of heroism.
Was that mine? Or was that somebody else's, DM? I don't remember.
I would have to look.
Oh, okay. I have seen potions like this before. Gaultier, it may be that our packs were switched around.
Could be. It seemed like everyone's had items mixed around.
Have we really had time to look at our belongings since then?
I don't know if anyone has. I can dig through mine real quick. Well, I can dig through mine looking for a pendant.
Yeah, I can do the same.
Has Tendra came back at all yet, or is it still just a goblin attendant?
Just a goblin.
Okay. So, as of right now, the two of the missing comrades are back. Oh yeah, I don't know if Grayson is back or not yet.
After seeing Arlo and Zoramir as their return, I fear what may have happened to Grayson.
There's too much stuff going on. Not enough time right now.
There's so much going on. We just came to meet with the king. Now we've got ourselves immersed in cults, guilds,
Thievery. Want to call it that?
Some sort of bounty hunter.
Have you ever heard of his master's name before?
No, I have not. Many of these organizations are new to me, and before now I would have thought them irrelevant. However, we we continue to draw all the trouble towards us.
Can't help but wonder if that's a knack of the mucking good adventurers.
It is certainly a feature.
And as you sit and discuss the fate, the morning goes on. The city can be heard. That's where we're going to end tonight.
Is it too early for an ale?
That's your own personal convictions on that one. Oh, we want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We appreciate you stopping by. Happy Valentine's Day. We realize a lot of people are out doing that today. Our listeners that are listening to the podcast, we love you and thank you as well. We hope you're enjoying all this. I love this so much. Though after this,
Somebody does.
we're gonna hear. I'm gonna get an earful here shortly, of course. So let's not forget Midland Mall Comic Con. It's quickly approaching. There's been a couple people that have reached out that said they're going to be there. And when it comes to the D&D thing, wow, it looks like my connection. Oh well, it's the end. It looks like
It's the
maybe
end of the stream as we know it.
some kids can play D&D too. I think my first D&D was I was 11 or 12. So, of course we had to hide it, but that's a whole nother conversation for another point. Satanic panic. Um, yeah, wear pants when you come to Midland Mall Comic Con. It's important. So definitely come by for that. But yeah, thanks for the subs this with Fanboy Tone. B&B, Banter and Babble, don't miss it this week. It's a little later this week. It won't be on Wednesday, so it's going to be a little later. Stay tuned to their Discord. If you're into Lost Ark, stop by, jump in our Discord. We're playing a lot of that lately as well. Super fun game. It's free to play. What do you got to lose? So yeah, B&B is going to be on a Saturday with a special guest. So there will be a special guest for that. All right. So until next time, we'll see you in the dungeon soon. Take care.
See you.